You know, excuse me, every time I see an orange-skinned orangutan who has recently disrespected John Lewis, I want to say stuff like wishing death on him, wishing he would be assassinated, you know, wishing that he was in the ground, wishing all kinds of harmful and hateful things on this man. But I can't do that. And this story that I'm about to relate to you is exactly the reason why. There's a double standard in this country, and these two gentlemen know all about it. I don't know how many times people have disrespected the President of the United States, wished death on him, and they're not shy about it. They go on national TV and say all kinds of hateful and harmful things. He's gotten death threats. His wife has gotten death threats. His kids have gotten death threats. His in-laws have gotten death threats. But has a single person ever been arrested and charged with making threats on the life of the President of the United States? The answer to that one is a big fat no. Why? Because there's a double standard. Now, why do I say that there's a double standard? Well, specifically because of this story, but there are a lot of other stories. But on this one, 2 California men spent 7 months in jail for rap lyrics and Facebook photos. Let me read this story to you. 2 California men who spent 7 months in jail for conspiracy to commit murder based on rap lyrics and Facebook photos that made no reference to the actual crime or murder got arrested, spent 7 months in jail, got out, and have recently filed a lawsuit against the San Diego Police Department. Police based their arrest on allegations that Brandon Duncan and Aaron Harvey were Facebook friends with suspected gang members they grew up with, using an obscure law that does not even appear to have been used in California before the 2014 arrests. The funny part about it was there was no evidence that either committed any murders or were even actually gang members. Duncan, 35, was an aspiring rapper who went by the moniker Tiny Do, but who was making a living laying tile when he was arrested at his San Diego home, which police searched without a warrant, later informing him he was arrested over the contents of his music lyrics. Harvey, 28, studied to become a real estate agent. When he was arrested, well, he was studying to become a real estate agent when he was arrested by federal marshals in Las Vegas, who informed him he was wanted for a string of murders which he knew he never committed. He later learned that the San Diego police detective Rudy Castro, Hispanic, and Scott Henderson, probably a white dude, were only basing that belief on Facebook photos showing him posing with suspected gang members he grew up with in San Diego's Lincoln Park neighborhood. He wasn't even living in California, so they had to send the federal marshals to go get him. Both men spent 7 months in George Bailey Detention Center, known as Thunderdome, and Gladiator School because of its reputation for violence. A judge threw out the case in 2015 on lack of evidence, allowing the men to proceed with their federal lawsuit. Yeah, it's kind of funny. No evidence. It must have been a little hard for them to try to press that arrest. The law police arrested him on is California Penal Code 182.5, which notes gang members with general knowledge of a gang's criminal activities can be prosecuted for crimes others commit as long as they willfully benefit from, further promoted, or assisted in some way. Duncan was arrested on June 19, 2014. Harvey was arrested a month later on July 19, 2014. Harvey's original bail was set at $1.2 million, and Duncan's was set at $500,000. Neither could afford to bail out, which was why they sat in jail for 7 months. See, and they talk about bail, but bail is not supposed to be unreasonable, and they knew damn well there was no way in the world either one of these guys could make bail. So what they were doing actually was detaining them for 7 months illegally. The lawsuit states that authorities had no probable cause for arrest and violated the plaintiff's Fourth Amendment right by ransacking Duncan's home and the false arrest, not to mention their First Amendment rights by arresting them for rap lyrics and social media posts. Here, there are 2 individuals who were arrested and incarcerated for 7 months for committing no crime. Let me repeat that. They spent 7 months in jail and they committed no crime. That's not the way we do things around here, according to their attorney, Mark Zembrowski. He stated, here are 2 individuals who were arrested and incarcerated for 7 months for committing no crime whatsoever, based entirely on things they wrote or said. After nearly 7 months of being locked up in the rough San Diego jail, their bond was lowered to the point where they could afford to bail out. Once out, the 2 men went on a fact-finding mission to debunk the charges they were arrested for in the first place. They filed a motion with the court to dismiss the charges based on Penal Code Section 995, which essentially means there was no probable cause for them to have been arrested. 2 months later, in March 2015, Judge Louis Haronian granted that motion and all charges were dropped. Judge Haronian took issue with the fact that there was no evidence that they even had knowledge of the murders, much less participated in them. Instead, the arrests were based on Harvey and Duncan's association with gang members who just happened to be the guys they grew up with. The lawsuit they filed states that even though Mr. Harvey has been out of jail for over a year, he continues to suffer from the emotional trauma of living in such a violent and restrictive environment. Mr. Harvey still has nightmares about jail, becomes nervous in crowded places, and continually worries that he could be jailed again despite doing nothing wrong. Mr. Harvey also continues to face the economic consequences of his jail time in the forms of debt and poverty, and now lives with his parents so as to save money. And of course, he spent 7 months of his life incarcerated and facing a life sentence for doing nothing illegal. The criminal complaint that the lead detectives wrote noted that Mr. Duncan posted a message to his Facebook wall saying, "Free Lil Hawk and Tay Dip," following the arrest of Tavant Stripling and Desmond Crisp, and Mr. Duncan was a member of a rap group called Black Angel Music Group. Moreover, Harvey's criminal complaint shows Mr. Harvey was friends on Facebook with others who were allegedly members of the Linkin Park Blood and posted about their Linkin Park membership. Mr. Harvey appeared in photographs posted to Facebook along with men who were allegedly Linkin Park Blood members, and Mr. Harvey was said to be keeping gang members in order. The lawsuit argues that no reasonable competent officer, and that's an oxymoron as far as being competent, would have believed the facts stated in the declaration established probable cause to arrest Mr. Duncan or Mr. Harvey. No reasonable competent policymaker would have believed the facts pertaining to Mr. Duncan or Mr. Harvey justified an arrest. Even police officers on the Police One Facebook page were questioning the validity of the arrest. According to the suit, the plaintiffs have suffered damages from spending months in jail for a crime they didn't commit. Those damages include lost salary, diminished earning capacity, humiliation, lost career and business opportunities, and loss of reputation. Harvey and Duncan are seeking punitive damages, compensatory damages, relief, and attorney's fees. I'm not telling anybody to commit no crime. No, he spoke wrong or wrote that wrong. He basically should have said, I haven't told anybody to commit any crime, Duncan said about his music in a 2015 interview with NBC San Diego. I'm not telling anybody to do anything. It's just artistry. I'm painting a picture of an urban community. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if they can make up bullshit charges on people just saying stuff or posting pictures of themselves with their childhood or even adult friends, and they can arrest them and stick them in jail for 7 months, what the hell do you think they're going to do with you if you go out and voice your opinion, if it is such, and I'm not saying it's my opinion, that Donald Trump should be assassinated or some crazy stuff like that. And let me say this again, I'm not saying that Donald Trump should be assassinated just for good housekeeping purposes. But if you were to utter something like that, it's obvious that law enforcement is monitoring Facebook religiously. And I don't know what kind of a program they got running that they can pull up various or utilize various words in order to pull up Facebook pages, check them out, and then come knocking on your door and putting handcuffs on you. But I honestly believe that that metadata collection that they were supposed to have shut down, I honestly believe that that program is up and running strong, particularly given the fact as to what happened with these guys. And then there was a situation, I believe it was last year, where some lady posted on Facebook about going out and killing cops. Now, I think people that saw that might have called the police, but I wouldn't put it past them that they were using some kind of a program because they have a lot of information, and they do know the locations of various Facebook users, and they can get that information with a particular order from a FISA court. So again, be careful about what you say on social media, because law enforcement will come back and use it to bite you in the ass, even if you were just joking.